Hello, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. Lyon won, Rangers won in the last group stage match of the Europa League. Join myself, Watcher, on the show is my mate Port Bear. How we doing, Port?
How we doing, mate? Good to hear from you. Hope everybody enjoyed the game tonight. I certainly did. Bit of squeaky bum time in the second half, but for a game that competitively meant very little last year, which sort of looked like the first half, I think we could be happy. And Gio keeps his unbeaten run, and we've got a good result of it against a very strong European side. Domestically, they're in 12th, not doing too well, but in Europe they've been absolutely outstanding, mate.
Aye. Listen, bonus point, some more money into the coffers, people getting minutes in their legs, some questions answered. I want an apology, a verbal and written, for Alex Kelly. I think we've found out who the top right back is.
I thought you were talking about his singing.
No. I want a lawyer's letter for that one. He wants done under the Trade Description Act, calling that singing. Right, but Patterson done okay, but you can see the difference. The boys get a bit to go yet. Decision making, just small things. I know they've got a young boy playing in their team, but playing attacking, you can make less mistakes and you can defend in Porter.
Aye, I think. The two mistakes he makes is obviously in my opinion, is the one he's took a shot and goal himself instead of putting Aribo back in, and then the one he almost sells the jerseys at the very last couple of minutes when she just put the ball out easily, just knock it out, and kill the game. But he makes a dreadful, overplaying next year, overplaying, and it's great to have confidence in it, and I would never stop a young man for being confident and it has to be overplay, but there's times to date, mate, there's times not, and that he almost nearly causes the game.
That will come with experience, mate.
Yeah,
that will come with experience, aye.
Yeah.
Aye. I thought we got our goal was lucky, and their goal was lucky. If I'm being honest, mate, ours was a deflection. I don't think it was gone in. I don't know what you thought.
It was on target. It was on target.
You think so?
I think it was on target, mate. Yep.
Aye. He hit it like a big lassie, Scott, right?
Aye. I think it was on target, mate, because I think that's how he was granted the goal. Whereas Shaqiri that scored for them, or Sherky, sorry, who scored for them, it's classed as a Bassi OG, so that's 3 OGs this season, mate, in Europa so far for Rangers.
Aye, they've only scored one goal against us.
Yeah, I know. Aye, yeah.
But look, some good positive stuff. We kept the ball, but particularly in the first half, mate, yeah?
I thought the first half last year, as I say, without being too flamboyant and too flashy, either of the teams, it was almost sometimes at walking pace for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
But Rangers seemed to get stronger as the first half went on. And in the last probably 15 minutes, 20 minutes in the first half, I felt, we're going to score here. And then at the end of the half, we had 52% possession, they had 48%, so it did show we were on top. But I think their quality, mate, they brought a few subs on for the bench who are of real high quality and real high value. And I think we were chasing shadows for a while. But one of the biggest problems I felt tonight, mate, with the outball. So, like, if you're playing defence...
He's a sniffer. He ain't a lone striker, is he?
No, definitely not, mate. I think you've seen that tonight. I don't think he held the ball up once, if I'm totally honest. And that's, again, it's not criticism.
In saying that, mate, if he'd have still been on the party, the likely would have slid in and scored in the last minute when Kent puts it across the...
Aye. If you look at his one, he hit the post way as well, mate. He's looking, he knows that keeper's off that line and he tries to beat that keeper at his near post. He was very unlucky, and again, he's probably the one that had the intelligence to have that look first and see the keeper off his line. He's seen his wonder goal last year in the Europa for the halfway line, so he is capable. We all know that, definitely, mate.
Aye. So some positive mixed and some questions will answer. John Lundstrom, I thought done okay first half. Disappeared a wee bit in the second half. Him and Davis, I don't know, the blend doesn't seem right. I thought our best player maybe of the piece. Ryan Kent showed up at times with great skill, but particularly in the second half with all the defending. Connor Golson, mate, steady, leader, good game, mate. Whether we like it, some people like it or no, that's what I've seen.
He stood up, mate. He stood up and counted against a top quality side. With top quality defenders, attackers and midfielders. And he stood up and was a bit of a rock. Sometimes I think, see when he's got the armband, mate, I think he seems to be more. He seems to raise his game, in my opinion, when he's got the armband. Mm-hmm. You think he's that type of player. He loves the authority and the the fact he's got responsibility of leading out that team. So I think he feels it, and that's the sort of performance you get of Connor Goldson when he's on it. He was outstanding tonight, mate.
John McLaughlin, your first pick at 5-a-sides, mate?
Aye, I would, aye.
He's pretty good with the ball at his feet, isn't he?
Yes, mate, aye. I felt they were getting dead. See, when you talk about Lundstrom, see something tonight again, mate. He's sitting in between the two centre halves, and I don't understand why that's happening. I think they were inviting pressure. This inside our 6 yard, as deep as our 6 yard box, there, playing square passes. Get John McLaughlin out to Bass or out to Goldson, or your man Lundstrom is popping in the centre. I think it's dangerous, mate. Dangerous for me.
I agree, mate. There's times there where you just go gets the ball in the hand, you push the team up to the halfway line, and you clear your lines, yeah.
Yeah, aye.
You know,
that's what
I get it, mate. I know it's no pretty football. I get all that, but you're not going to lose a goal for the well. You're hopefully not going to lose a goal for the halfway line, are you?
True. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But aye, look, decent result, some decent performances, good stuff. Bad news about Ryan Jack, mate. We're hearing he's had a setback, and hopefully everything works out. You know, there's no timeline at the moment we're picking up, but hopefully things start moving in the right direction for him. We'll say it's a setback at the moment. I have passed on the number of the Samaritans to Andy for Leeds, so hopefully everything's all right for Andy. You know, he's had to take his post up done.
Aye, it's a shame, mate. We thought he was almost there, and he played 25 minutes at, in the last game there. You think that's him well on the road to recovery, but obviously he travelled with a team. I don't know if something's happened when he's been over there. That calf's went again, mate, whatever it's went, but it was a breakdown again. The manager spoke about it before the game as well, so he didn't put a timeline on it either.
Hopefully we'll hear tomorrow and we can take it from there. But we wish him all the best, and I'm not being facetious. I know Andy will be gutted because he's a big fan, but all the best to Ryan Jack. We do like you playing for us, and hopefully you can get fit and go on with your football career plus your Rangers career, Port better.
100%, mate. As I said, he was one of my favourites when he first came in. I thought he'd be a journeyman sort of league player at best, but he proved me well wrong, and he's been in the games he's played, I've enjoyed watching him. I like the physicality side of his game, his play. He's proved me well wrong on the ability that he had, mate. So I can't wait to see him back in the team. Yeah.
All right. I'll tell you what we'll do, mate. We'll get these phone lines open and we'll take people's calls, and hopefully there's a lot of happy bears out there, because I think it's about £250,000, €250,000 into the coffers, which we weren't maybe expecting, mate, you know?
No, definitely not, mate. Yep, the money's all good, and the coefficient keeps getting built by Rangers as well again, mate. So,
I thought about it.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, they're a big hitter, Lyon. So,
yep.
Good result.
Champions League side, mate. Champions League side, my opinion.
Yes. All right. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Okay, 210 grand a night for the draw, I believe. I don't know if that's euros or pounds. I'll get that confirmed. 210. Every little helps. What? Euros. 210 euros. Yeah.
Exactly. Keep the coffers going. Keep the lights on, as they say. It's very important, the European money, mate. And that's why a lot of people are wondering. With all the changes tonight. What game is very important? Is it the Europa game, or is it the league game again starts? And I think that's what you see tonight. I think that's why there's so many changes, and why Alfredo and Sakala left at home with one eye in, the weekend's game as well. So, but I think all games are important, mate, for different reasons.
And plus they had the two of them had the yellows. I think that's sensible management, mate, isn't it?
Aye, 100%. Yep. Why risk them?
Aye.
Some people may argue it's only the last 32. Why you rest them? So I know that I've seen a few guys mention that earlier on social media. Why rest them for the last 32? What does it matter? Their opinion, the league was more important. So, but
you could argue they're resting them for the league as well.
Aye, yep.
Even though the two of them, they've not the minutes that say Joe Haribo's got. but it'll be fresh and ready to go on Sunday. And you've got a lot of choices to make. I think Tav will come back in. I think Alan McGregor will come back in, even though John McLaughlin done nothing wrong tonight, mate. But it's very good with the ball at his feet. And then you got a choice in midfield. Is it Davis? Is it Kamara? Who's sitting in there? Are you playing with 2? Are you playing with 1-3-2? You play, are you playing with 4-2-3-1? You know, it's just he's got a flexibility that we never had under the previous regime.
No, definitely in the formation he plays, 4-2-3-1. But it changes if you watch it. It changed probably 2 or 3 times a night, the formation, just to suit who was coming on. One player the night for me, mate, that didn't do it at all was Yanis Hadji. And I'm a big admirer of the boy. But see, night, mate, he was like an empty jersey.
Are you going to apologise to me live on air?
No.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
No.
That's UGB. GB, at least GB was man enough to text me after the game. That's all I'm saying. Man. Yeah.
Aye, fair enough.
Listen,
no, it just wasn't a game for him, mate, at all.
Good touch. He ain't the greatest passer of the ball in midfield. He can make things happen in the final third. Constantly when you watch him, mate, his lack of pace is just at the top level of football. It's just doesn't get him anywhere, you know. That's
the first, mate, I've seen it. It was absolutely, evident tonight to me. It was like so far out there tonight. He looked well off of pace. He looked. I'm talking about the pace of the game, which was a slow game, by the way. He just did not do a thing. I struggled to even wonder where he was playing. At times, he wasn't getting anywhere. He wasn't getting close to the roof. He was coming into midfield and trying to link. He just kept running back and forwards in that sort of number 10 position, running side to side. But I didn't know what he was doing. I didn't have a clue what he was doing tonight.
All right, okay. Aye. Listen, mate, I'm taking the Fifth Amendment on that one. Yeah, my views haven't changed. After the first half, I got a dozen games, maybe 10 games. We've seen him. I know that great game against Braga, mate, where he turned it for us. He got the deflected free kick and he done some nice things, in particular the first goal, I think. But look, my views haven't changed. He's done things that I've really enjoyed. I wouldn't be picking him, but that's a personal thing. And Giovanni's picking him, Stevie G picked him, so who are we to argue, mate?
No, I know, but when does it become enough, mate? And I know we're not the managers of the club, we're not, but for me, there's guys like Arfield and there's Aribo, that can play in that position that he would offer more, because he doesn't even offer anything coming back, mate. He doesn't, we're not chased back. He's not got that in his game either. A game which I noticed tonight, again, it stuck out like a sore thumb. At times, we seem to be overrun the second half and the first half of midfield. So, I didn't know what he was doing, mate. I had no idea what his job was tonight.
All right. We've been joined by you. How are we doing, you?
Hello, everyone. How are you doing?
Good, mate. How are you, mate? Good to hear from you.
Yeah, good. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. What's on your mind, mate?
Yeah, Rangers done the business. The last 4 games made up for the first 2 games, I think.
Aye, remarkably to finish second, mate, and before it was going to be a poor European league after the first couple of games, a few European campaign, and they turned it around, Port, yeah?
Aye, definitely, 100%. To get the first 2 games, Sparta Prague and Lyon, you thought, oh, here we go. And I thought it was just going to be one of them, we'd maybe drop into the conference or we wouldn't even finish third. But, we've turned it round, mate, and we've come back and we've finished second, and we've got a big tie in the next round after Christmas, which is most important for me, mate.
Aye, it's good for the club, it's good for prestige, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. I love European football. I really do. So that's Gerard. That's Gio's 5 games on the trot.
Can you watch your language on here, please, shoot?
Sorry about that. Apologies. Yeah, 5 games on the trot, and we've scored first each game.
Aye, that's a stat and a half. Port, isn't it?
Aye, yep.
Good shout, you. Good shout.
Aye, definitely.
And that's 2 in Europe and 3 in domestic. Not too bad.
They're not shot shy under Gio as well, are they, Hugh? They're not shot. They like to have a shot. I think that's been pretty evident.
I think that's what we're missing, just letting it fly if we got the chance. Don't pass the ball into the net.
Did you think when Scott Wright hit that one, did you think it was George Albers?
No. It's a bit of a fairy tap on it.
Aye, but if you don't shoot, you don't score, you know?
Exactly.
You know? Who's Sean for you? You?
Kent done well for most of the game.
When he got the ball, aye.
Yeah. As they said, there's showing more attacking sense. If you don't shoot, you don't score. We've got that mentality now.
Aye. What?
I think, Kent was superb. I think he should have asked more questions. The young boy Vogel played it right back for them. He's only an under-18 French internationalist, that boy. And I think Kent should have been doing his throat, basically. And the ball should have been put to him a lot more. And he did show at times when he had the boy on toast, he could get at him. And even physically get on top of the boy. But I think Kent gave him a bit of an easy ride. But he still was positive. I think he's been better than he has been. But he's still not reached the heights yet. But the 1-2 with Kent and Kamara for the first goal was outstanding.
I'll tell you what, please. Oh, it was a great pass, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a great pass. It was like the one I flicked through to Fox at Rangers Radio 5 sides and he back-heeled it, you know? A great move. What I was going to say, what pleased me about Kent tonight, obviously he done some nice things, but see with the couple of minutes to go, Hugh, and he showed that pace. All right, it never came to nothing when they put it across the box. I don't think he could have done that this start of the season. I don't think he was fit enough to do that.
No, he's building, he's getting there. He's very, very lively and very direct. I like that about him. And he's no scared to take players on. Sometimes a few oversteps too much, but he's got that speed about him.
Did you see the one the last minute, Port, when he right across the park with the ball?
Yeah.
Aye, yep.
Yeah, he's running parallel, wasn't
he? Go the other way.
It's like you say, Rox, Jared, the ball he puts across the face of the goal, for minutes to go, he wouldn't have had that probably 5-6 games ago, even as short as that. He wouldn't have the pace to do that at that time in the game. So I think he's obviously got his fitness built up, and his stamina. He's starting to look more like a player, he is. And like Kamara as well, I touched him earlier on. Oh, do you think he's more of a sitter? I think he's more than a sitter, mate. I think he's outstanding.
I think, that term, and I'll take this to Hugh, a guy can be anything he wants. When Glenn Kamara decides he wants to be, I think he's got the ability to do it. He's got pace, he's got poise, he's got skill. He's no fear. He can get about the pitch, he's fast. So he's got a lot of things, Port, and he's a top player, mate. Whether we keep him or he goes on to other things, but he is a top footballer, mate.
Aye, as I said, to me, you're wasting him, playing him in number 6 role, and you're so rigid he's just got to sit in front of the back four. And he proved that. I mean, under Gerrard, at times at previous seasons where there used to be a Borna, Kent, and the Kamara sort of triangles that were all down the left hand side, and Kamara would often, you'd see him at the edge of the box or in the box, and when he gets that touch inside the box and then he turns Vogel, puts him on his backside and puts it at the edge of the box, I mean, that's outstanding. Poise, mate, on the ball.
We want to see more of that, mate. We want to see more of that.
Aye, definitely.
You?
Definitely.
Yeah, exactly. I think everything that you said there was spot on about Kamara. I think he's got that composure as well, and it showed in that the build up there. Everybody thought he was just going to fire it in low and hard, but he just turned the guy and struck it in. Lovely flick to Kent, and then the turn to Kamara. And then I'm glad Lundstrom missed the ball and it went out to the right and he shot.
Are we calling it a shot?
Well, a trickle or a pass back.
I don't know what we'd call it, but well, he gets the goal, Scott, right? But anyway,
on target.
Talking about people who shoot and never miss, we'll be joined by Andy for Crooks. We need there, Andy.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing, guys?
Hello, Andy.
Aye, good. I just phoning in. I'm really happy. Really happy with the performance, to be honest. Good to see a lot of players getting some minutes. A couple of people shown for me. Kent, when he got the ball, I thought, especially when he was out wide, mostly the balls he did get was out wide. He did create something. He was beating players. He was very good. If you ask me, I mean, this is a top side we're talking about. This is a Champions League outfit that should be in the Champions League every year. The substitutions that we're making, they're just a fantastic team. Also, went on to and I want to what the panel think about this. I went on to follow, and I
think it's a great tune. I think it's a great
tune. And there's a post up, and there was a guy absolutely slating Patterson, saying he was awful. That's why Tav is the captain, and blah blah blah. All right, for me, he wasn't poor, but he wasn't terrible. What does Panos think of that?
Also, I see you read my post on follow, did you?
I don't know. What one was yours?
No, I didn't think he was awful, mate. I didn't think he was awful. Hugh, then Port.
Yeah, I think Patterson done well, except from the bit right at the end.
Yeah.
But he's young and he needs experience, and he's only going to get experience by playing games, and games like this is up there with the best, you know.
Absolutely.
Help his development. I think he struggled when he didn't have the ball. Guys running after him, but that's experience. Port.
I think he was getting let down by teammates as well. But mate, in the first half, see if you think Goldson makes a few short passes to him. Wright's not covering them. You know, they've got the fullbacks coming down the left hand side. They've also got the guys that Toko Akambe, who's coming down his side as well. And at times he was getting isolated. Plus you've got a midfielder that's not offered you any cover either, Hadji. So I thought he was sort of isolated in the first half, his cellmate. But it just shows you at the level Lyon are at, he's still a few rungs down the ladder. And that's not a criticism, mate. It's just that, I've said it on here before, James Tavernier still is ahead of him at the moment. But Patterson's coming hard and fast. But tonight, you've probably seen Patterson's vulnerabilities. And as I say, that's not a criticism, because you'll learn more.
Because you'll learn, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you will.
Sorry.
Just on you go, mate.
All right, just one last point I wanted to make as well. I phoned in 2 weeks ago as well, and I mentioned about Hadji, and again, for me, this guy isn't offering nothing for us, really. I
can't believe you're saying that, Andy.
No, honestly. That was 2 weeks ago. I phoned in and I said it, and then there was one caller come on and said, he done this and against Braga and blah, blah, blah. And all right, that was Braga's back then. For me, he's not doing it, innit? He's not doing it. He's not. I think it's a jersey that can be filled. I don't know what you think about
that. I'll let Hugh answer that question.
I like Hadji, but he's very inconsistent and very in and out of the match. I think.
All right, Port Bear.
Hi. I've been a cheerleader for Hadji since he basically signed for the club, and
myself being.
I think he's done a lot of good things for Rangers. Done a lot of good things as a player, but just over the last this season so far, I've seen again vulnerabilities that I've not seen before in his game. Maybe I was blinded by a lot of the stuff he does, because I've seen a lot of the good you always think of the good things he does and sort of overlook some of the bad stuff or the lack of trying that he does for me sometimes. But I think like tonight was the first I've seen how far off he is with pace, even the pace of that game, which was European standard, which is a lot slower. I didn't know. I said to Oxy earlier on. I didn't know what his role was in the game. I didn't know where he was playing, and that's terrible for me to see that, because I still be able to understand and watch and what he's trying to do, but I couldn't work out what he was trying to do tonight.
Do you want me to answer that?
Aye.
Yeah.
Hadji's got a lot of ability. If you get your setup right, but we've asked to play him to see what we can do in a number 10 role with a bit of freedom after wings, and he had a wee bit of an opportunity tonight, and he fluffed his lines. All right, it was a training game played at half pace, so we can't judge him on that. I think he's somebody who, if he wants to move on with his career, has to move away from us. I don't think Scottish football suits him. I don't think the way we play suits him. And I don't think he's the greatest player ever. If his name was Janeth, I don't know, Kelly, I don't think he'd be playing in our team, if I'm being really honest. I think he's had the opportunity because he is. He's no let us down over the piece. I've never fancied him for maybe 10 games in. And he's in between that, he's had some brilliant moments, but consistency he lacks. And I'm trying to be as fair as I can when I said that. Port.
Sorry, Port. You go, Port.
Yeah. Andy, if you want me to go, I can get down the stairs and watch the telly, and you can run the show.
Sorry, mate.
No bother, mate. I don't take offence. It's all right. Carry on, Port.
I know you're probably bang on, mate. I think maybe your
was that an apology there? Sorry, did I hear you saying sorry, Ox? You were right.
No,
all right, carry on.
Said that. No.
At least Gary, GB and Alex Kelly have had the cojones to apologise. Yeah, carry on.
Right,
I
okay.
did apologise.
No, you, Andy, you don't count. Port there.
No, just I think the Scottish game's too physical for him, mate. I think he will become a player, but certainly won't be at Rangers. I think he will get another move. I think he'll get another move, mate. But it depends on the league. It depends on the league he goes to.
Don't see it. I think the time's moving on. He's a poster boy. You?
Yeah, I think the Scottish game is a bit too rough and tumble for him. As much as I want him to do well, I think he just needs that time on the ball and stuff like that. But and you're not going to get that in Scottish football. I think maybe that's why I got subbed tonight. He needs to get the ball, look up, and in the football game, you've not got the time to look up and about. He's going to get clobbered.
I think he was subbed tonight because running about his substitution, he gave the ball away cheaply about 3 times.
Aye.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I do think there's.
On you go, mate.
Sorry, I just got to say, I do think there's current better players in him at the moment.
What I will say is, Stevie G's picked him, Stevie G picked him, and Giovanni von Bronckhorst has picked him in most of his games. If not all his games, I'll check that out. So, what do we know, Andy for Crookston?
Exactly. That's for the training field, isn't it? He's obviously shown something on the training field that we don't see. But as far as I'm concerned, he's done basically nothing this season. He's done nothing that you could go back and go, oh well, he does have his spells, he does have his wee moment of magic, but and everybody, I've heard people say, but he can change a game in an instant, but that doesn't carry you for 90 minutes. You know what I mean? You don't want a player on the pitch can just change a game in an instant and do nothing for the rest of the 90 minutes. You know what I mean? You want somebody that can do something for the game and then have that magic spark. But for me, no, he's not doing it. He's definitely not doing it this year for me.
Yeah. But he's been part of this run. He's played every game, started every game under Gio. I've just checked that out, Port Bear. So... I
know it's strange, but I mean, ironically, against Sparta Prague, mate, I thought he was all right that night. I felt he was fine.
Yeah.
You know, at Ibrox, in front of the big crew. He does seem to play better at Ibrox.
I think he fell out the game in the second half, mate.
Yeah, aye, that's what I was about to say, but again, he fell out the game. I think that's a real problem he's got, mate, with consistency. I just don't know why he didn't seem to, be able to continue a run of games, of 3, 4, 5 games, where he plays at a high level every single game, mate. He just fades in the game and comes out of the game whenever he seems to want. That's not good enough, mate, at that level. The level we expect to win leagues and the level to, keep competing in Europe, we need 11 men, mate, to be on the ball and on their game, because we can't afford passengers, because we've not got the luxury to go out and spend 7, 8, 9, 10 million, 20 million players.
Listen, we're a good side, mate. I'm not saying we're a top side. We're a good side, and where do I get that for? I get that, Hugh, for what we've done in Europe over the last 3 seasons. We've qualified out the group stages for the last 3 seasons. Now, we know we're not competing to win the trophy at the moment, but we're a good side, and we're not getting the credit we deserve for building up the whole coefficient of Scottish football, mate.
Exactly. We're doing it alone ourselves, and as you say, if we play well, Rangers play well, and I always believe that's just a silly thing sometimes that just keep us lacking behind. But if you look, you say like the last 4 seasons in Europa, we've done really, really outstanding, I think.
Aye. And by the way, Yanis Hachi's equaliser maybe got us through in Europe, didn't it? You think about it?
Yeah.
Aye, yep.
That's
what I'm saying, mate. He has moments, doesn't he? And you can pick back to moments where you go, right, fair enough. But is it enough just to do that now and again, mate? In my opinion, it's not.
Well, George 73 says he still has moments. Yep. But I don't want to turn this into. We went away in Lyon, got a great result. Not as good as the last time we were there, but still a good result. And we Patterson, Hadji, they maybe done great, but they weren't poor. They done okay without being startling. Because as Fox pointed out before we come on, you win as a team, you lose as a team, Porter.
Aye, 100%. And like I said earlier on, like the Patterson, Hadji, etc. Sometimes your worst games is the games you learn more for. You think you've had a hard night, or you've maybe not played well. You probably learn more for that than you do a good strong 3-0 win, mate. To be honest, so I've no doubt in my mind that Patterson will come on and be a cracking Rangers player, and maybe even further beyond Rangers, mate. I've no doubt about where that boy's career's going. I've no doubt at all. But as I said, on the run of the ladders now, it's just Tav just ahead of him and no more.
I've got my wee bit ahead of him at the moment.
Yeah.
Patterson's coming, but he's a wee bit. Talking about people, it's always ahead. I've been joined by Robert. Evening, Robert.
Evening, Ox. Evening, Port. Evening, Colin.
Evening, Robert.
How we doing? Evening,
Not too bad.
How we doing? Give us your thoughts, Robert.
I thought the job was done tonight. That was the game plan. The job was done. There was nothing to play for in terms of qualification and any further, obviously. So it was about the players getting on the park, getting some game time, and it was, for me personally, it was about the application and the performance of those that haven't been in the squad to see how they got on. And like I said, the job was done. So fair play, good away result, and bring on the draw on Monday.
Any preferences, Robert?
See, looking at it, no matter who you get, I think there's a lot of top quality teams in there. And in my opinion, it's a list of Champions League teams.
I'll just shout them out. Barcelona, Dortmund, Leipzig, Porto, Seville, Sheriff, Zenit and Atalanta.
And there you go. In my opinion, that's a Champions League list of opponents in class. There's obviously Sheriff would be a favourable one, but an away tie in Barcelona, give us that.
The away tie will be played on the 17th of February, and the second leg will be played on the 24th of February, a week later, at Ibrox. There you go.
I'll put it in my diary.
Yep.
But no, I think anybody, we're there for a reason. We've worked hard, we deserve to be there. So at the end of the day, whoever we get, we'll give them a game and we'll hope for the best and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Who's shone for you tonight? Who disappointed for you?
It was a bit of a kind of weird game, like I said. The job was done, so it was a bit kind of more professional performance rather than trying to go for the win or whatever. But over the basis of 90 minutes, I'd maybe say Lundstrom, just kind of controlling the midfield and kind of breaking things up and one can play, etc. But there was no kind of big standout from front to back.
I thought it was a lot better in the first half, if I'm being honest, mate.
Second half is a bit kind of, both teams kind of stepped off a bit until the last 15, 20 minutes or so. They were obviously aware that nothing was to play for, so getting the ball, knocking it about, keeping it simple. But last 10, 15, a couple of chances for both ends. Could have won it, could have lost it, but a point you'll take all day before kick off.
Yeah. Portbear, and then I'll go to Andy with this one as well. There was a concern in the second half for me. The amount of times the opposition got free headers.
I see we have a problem at the moment with set pieces, Oxtear. Definitely. The corners, the 2 free headers they got for the big centre half, who should have put that in the net. But that was one of your strengths in the last, very few seasons. And I can't understand why all of a sudden we can't defend a cross. I don't understand that at all, mate. Obviously, one of the reasons is because your best header in the ball, Hollander, is out injured. But you still expect Bassey and Goldson to pick up their men. Not just them, everybody. We just seem to be very weak at the moment at cross balls, mate. Especially set pieces, which is concerning. But I think concerned me as well, mate, is this passing the ball along the 6-yard box to each other and how deep we were at times. Lundstrom on the edge 18-yard box in between Bassey and Goldson. He needs to get out of there, mate. He needs to get out of there and get in the midfield, because all you're doing is inviting pressure on. We're inviting pressure on enough because the ball isn't sticking up. Never mind them sitting so deep.
I think if you constantly do that, mate, the other team can push right up to the halfway line, push your midfield up, and then have 2 or 3 runners shutting you down, and it just becomes a bomb scare waiting to happen, doesn't it?
Yep. Yeah, you can't go then.
Your comment, Hugh?
Yeah, I found the corners very, very weird. You've got the keeper, and then you've got like 6 or 7 blue jerseys just standing about doing nothing, not even marking anybody or chasing anybody or holding anybody. And as soon as the corner's kicked, the opposition they've got the momentum, so they won the battle of momentum straight away. So they're winning free headers. I just couldn't quite get it, and I'm shouting and bawling at the TV and all sorts.
There was a strange one. Bakuna's on the post, and he came off the post when the boy was heading that. I couldn't get that. I couldn't get it. It was actually similar to what Kamara done against Hibs. If you get the opportunity to watch it again, Andy.
Absolutely. The corners were a concern tonight, and the set pieces have been a concern this season. But we also have been talking on the show about getting men on the posts, and when Stevie G was in charge, it was we were leaking goals and we're shouting why we not had men in the post. And as we've seen tonight, Davis cleared one off the line that was getting in the bottom corner, but the lackness is exactly what you said there. It was just all blue jerseys just standing. They weren't pulling jerseys. They were trying to stay with a man, and then when it showed you the replay for the first free header, Goldson's just standing, letting the guy run on his head. I mean, it's schoolboy stuff, totally schoolboy stuff. It's something we really, really need to work on.
I'm sure we will with this management team. Robert?
I agree with Port, mate. I think our best aerial threat for defensive and attacking phases is Hollander, and obviously he's out until hopefully not too far away, but there is height in there that should be getting dealt with. A bit kind of lackadaisical maybe at corners, thinking that the opposition won't win it if they're not as tall as other guys, but you've seen it yourself. Everybody can jump. You've seen Sakala scoring against Motherwell. You've seen him scoring against the last game, that header. So
Livingston.
That's the one, mate. That's the one.
Stick with me, Robert. I'll make you a star.
I'll do my homework for next time, mate. So Indy gets a run on you, like Hugh says there. somebody gets a run, they're going to have a kind of free header, good leap on it, and that's only a concern. Going also on what Porter said about Lundstrom coming deep, I see his point, but also because of the way we play with the fullbacks, I think that allows the fullbacks to go, having Lundstrom in there, or whoever it may be, coming that deep. But I do get his point that it does invite the pressure onto you, and it can become very compact in that middle, especially if you don't get the ball out wide early enough. Can cause you a few problems.
And we'll get some listeners joined us. They're on a coach on the way to an airport, so you want to gauge your thoughts on Hadji again, Andy?
No, I'll give that a bye. I think I've said enough about him.
Well done, the boys. Good result. And still undefeated under.
Can I just come in on a point about Hadji, Ox?
Yes, mate. On you go, mate.
I think, obviously, a couple of times just when I've been on here, you've asked me for my team selection ahead of a game, and I've had Hadji in. And he is a good player. I think just now he's in the position that's not his natural choice, and he'll probably say that himself. He's probably a number 10, but right now he's not getting ahead of Joe Aribo. So he's making that right side position his own, because when you think on it really, he attracts defenders towards him. He can go into wee gaps and behind defenders. There's no one else really just now that we have that can maybe do that. And I think that's why he's been picked under both sets of managers lately. You could make a case for Sakala going out left, Kent coming right, but tonight that wasn't a game you were going to try and risk doing that, especially with Sakala being on the yellow card. So from that side of things, good man management from Gio not to have Sakala, Morelos in and around, just in case they pick up a silly booking. So that was good to see as well. But just on Hadji, I think it's just, he's a good player, probably just in the wrong position, and he's getting a bit of slack for it. And he's not going to be in the middle based on Aribo's performance lately.
I'm not denying he's a good player, mate, but whether he's good enough to play for us going forward, only time will tell. Portbear.
Aye, I think he's. I'm going to be really honest with you. I think his career's maybe coming to an end at Ibrox, mate. I don't know. Obviously, both managers, Gerrard and Gio, see something in him, mate. But for me personally, I'm absolutely losing patience with him. Because I just think right now, Joe Aribo, who plays in the similar position to him, you've got Arfield, and even Bacuna can play there. And I think I'd still rather see any one of them three right now, mate, on his last few performances than him. I really would, because I think they don't offer attacking threat. Them three I just mentioned, they'll get it back, they'll go and hit, they'll dig in, they'll help the midfield, they'll get involved with attack. Whereas Hadji, I just think for me, mate, he's becoming lazy.
Right, okay, I don't want to turn it into a Yanis Hadji bashing night, but we're always a wee bit harsh when somebody's a bad game and maybe come up. But I get your point. Only time will tell if he'll kick on. If he scores a win on Sunday, well, I'll be raving about him. it'll be interesting to see how it goes going forward, because he's got ability, but I just don't think your game's suited for him. John Lundstrom, Robert, you mentioned he's shone for you. I thought he was one of my better players first half. Disappeared a wee bit second. I don't know if the blend of him and Davis, I don't know if they make the same runs. You need to watch it really closely to maybe dissect that. I thought he was quiet in the second half. But good to see him getting on the pitch.
It's good choice to have as well. Obviously, we're quite well off in numbers in that middle part now. Just now, obviously, unfortunate news about Ryan Jack, a wee setback, but hopefully nothing too serious and he can get back into the team sooner rather than later. But Lundstrom, it gives you something different than the other midfielders do as well. They all have different attributes and abilities that they bring. Like say, him and Davis, maybe very similar, but again, I have to watch it back and maybe see if they're doing the similar things. But when you think of it, if you've got Davis and Lundstrom, you'd expect Davis to take more control in the middle and dictate it. So maybe that's why he's been a bit quieter, letting Davis do the kind of controlling and dictating the play, experience and knowledge over the guy in the first half.
I get that. All right, it'll be interesting to see how his career goes going forward, but he's got assets to his game as well, but just it's consistency he's looking for. Hugh?
Yeah, it's good to see John Lundstrom get game time on the continent. As you said, very good in the first half and kind of fell away in the second half. You kind of hear that a lot with Rangers players. It's very two-half kind of game. They one good, one not so good. I think he might be the replacement for Steve Davis if John Lundstrom's still about. He's quite very similar to a Steve Davis kind of player. Sometimes maybe when two of them are on the same field, sometimes it just doesn't work out.
All right, I think we've been joined by Bob G. Good evening, Bob G.
You have indeed. How you doing? All right.
Hey, Bob G.
Good evening, Bob G.
Is everybody happy with the performance?
Yeah. Aye, mate. Aye.
Yeah.
Better than
I
expected.
thought so. It was a lot better than I expected. I thought Rangers were excellent in the first half. There you go. That's the extent I thought Rangers were excellent in the first half. But they played really well.
I don't disagree with that. I thought we were
Well, I don't know what level of side they had. I think they had a few changes as well. But obviously, so did we. So it was a bit of total equality on the part. But I thought Rangers played really well in the first half. Really organised. And they were very unlucky with the own goal. But mind you, we got a break with the goal as well. So even at selling, for to go out there and get a result, well, a good performance. Well done.
And did you always get the feeling, Bob Cherry? Obviously, they get in the middle of the second half. We were defending, and they were. It was.
Well, they rode their luck a wee bit, but you've got to endure a fox, eh?
But see the last 5 minutes, mate, when Kent get the ball a couple of times, and honestly, when Joe Aribo was influencing the play, there was a couple of incidents where you think, well, we've got a chance to score here, eh?
Aye. Well, Rangers could have sneaked it at the end. They could have sneaked it another with young Patterson getting the ball away. But, overall, I'm really happy. But, I mean, going to a venue like that and against a side, I mean, we all know that the high standard French football is. If I go away to one of their major clubs and get a result, well, good, all right, need rubber game. It doesn't matter. Nobody wants to lose. You always try and win. And I thought I'm really happy with the organisation of the Rangers tonight. Better than I've seen it for a while, actually. So, yeah, shower compliments on them well we can.
You've been very fair there, I think, Bob J. Very fair, mate. You know, very, very fair. You know, who's Sean for you?
Hey, Borna Barisic, outstanding. I thought he had a great game. Then I thought Barisic had a really good game.
Okay.
Then Golson as well. Golson, most of them. They all played well. I thought young Patterson showed a bit of naiveness at the end on there. He should have maybe just hoofed the ball out for a shy, but that's a young player, that hand. But they were lucky, as I said, you know, sort of a minute before it when Joe Aribo was right through. McCoy says he should have let the keeper. He should have let the keeper at him, and he only got a penalty kick. And then I think so. But it was Rangers deserved the result, deserved the draw. Against a high quality French side. Well done, Gio. You're doing well, doing great.
Yeah, but before we go to the tune, we're going to hear from your manager, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst.
Excellent.
Order a Knight of the Order of the Orange Nassau. Let's hear from your manager.
Game against Hearts on Sunday. How does the recovery begin? How do you look ahead to that challenge going to Tynecastle?
Well, it's a short day, of course. We are flying straight back to Scotland now and only have 2 days to prepare for the game. But we're used to it because the last games were all with only 2 days of rest. And so we will do everything we can. Tomorrow is only recovery, and then Saturday we should prepare also tactically for Hearts, which is, of course, a tough game for us away. And but I'm confident. I'm confident about my team, the performance we had today. So just now it's case to rest really well and be prepared for Sunday.
Maybe a few words about your performance. Maybe you deserved a little bit more than just a draw.
Well, I think I'm very happy with the performance. I think we were, especially away from home in Europe, it can be really tough. Today, of course, against a tough opponent we faced, but I think we're very brave today with when we had ball possession. We like to play our possession game from the back, and I think we have many times we had the right solutions. And overall, I'm really happy with the performance. And maybe, as you said, maybe we were dominant, but I think in the second half we didn't create too many chances in the end, with some dangerous crosses. But also Lyon had some chances. But I'm very happy with the message we showed as a team. We came here not to defend. We came here to play our game and to develop our team, because it's only my 5th game in charge now with this team, and so I'm happy that they're picking up my style of play, and so in that aspect I'm very happy with the performance.
So your Dutch colleague Peter Bos wanted to do a perfect 6 wins in the group, so maybe you took that away from him. Don't you feel sorry for him about that?
No, I don't feel sorry for him, because I'm of course the coach for Rangers. I want the best result for my team. So I'm just happy we're both through to the next stages, and so I'm very happy for him as well. And of course I wish him all the best for this weekend against Lyon. It's going to be an important game for him, and I'm I just want him to be successful on Sunday. So today was a draw, but I'm rooting for him to have a good result against Lyon.
Right, thanks for that. I'll tell you what we're going to do now. If you stay on mute, we're going to have a tune.
Every Saturday we follow, we cheer the boys in blue, the most successful team in football. We're Scotland's gallant few, though at times they have been hard, we've followed near and far. You will always hear us roaring from the stands in Ibrox Park.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
shut my eyes there, Port Bear. I just thought it was Alex Kelly singing, you know.
Not quite, mate. Not quite.
The voice of an angel.
Maybe that's why he's not on tonight. Maybe he's writing more lyrics for you, mate.
Oh, no more. No more. No more. Right, okay. Giovanni, very content. I'll use the word content. How does that grab you?
Aye, mate, I think he's been pretty astute, pretty clear, and he's what he wants the club to be, and where he wants the sort of position he wants in, what formation he wants to play. And I think he made a good point there. He's only 5 games into it, mate, and he can already see the team starting to understand what his plans and what sort of coaching he's going to offer and what system he's going to play. So 5 games in, mate, I'm pretty happy. 100% record.
Okay. Robert?
I think it was Hugh earlier on that said 5 games and 5 times we've taken the lead. Before he came in, was it 6 in a row or something we had conceded? Or 6 games we conceded?
It was quite frightening, that, wasn't it?
Even that itself, from a mental point of view for the players, is a massive turnaround already in a short space of time. To go from leaking goals early on in games to being resilient again and being hard to break down at times is a massive factor within 5 games, and not many training sessions you'd have to say as well. So it can only get stronger and better. And if this is what it is after 5 games, let's see what it's like after 25 games.
All right. Hugh?
Yeah, I like Gio saying my team and my style of play. That got the goosebumps for the neck going.
Mm-hmm.
The reporter says Lyon were going for their 6th win in a row in that group, and obviously we went there tonight and we drew with them, so we've denied them of that.
Aye, true, mate, true. Aye. Content. 2 games in Europe. He's won at Ibrox 2-0, and away at Lyon, arguably the toughest game in the group, and he's went there and still undefeated. Aye, things you've got to say they're positive, Andy. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree with everything that Robert said there. Absolutely. We've come in. We've scored first every game, and if that's them after 5 games, what's it going to be like after 25? So really, really impressed with the manager. He speaks well, and he knows what seems to know what the game's all about, and it's good, looks good going forward.
Aye, for sure, mate, for sure. Bob's
I don't know if you noticed that I'm not a fan of this passing the ball inside your own 18 years, but passing the ball inside your own 6 years, but I don't know. I don't know.
Bob J, put your horn up if you're not a fan of that. Port Bear, put your horn up.
My horn's up.
Two hands.
Right, so the hands up there. Right, good lads. As I say, I'm not a fan of that because I'll be absolutely honest with you. I don't think SPL teams have got the ability to play like that. I'll tell you one thing. See tonight, Rangers had it off to a tee. And that shows you the impression Giovanni Van Bronckhorst made. Rangers had it off to a tee. I thought they were excellent. Like McLaughlin, Barisic, Goulson, passing it, getting the ball short and then passing it in the midfield. Really good at it. So that's the stamp Gio was going to bring, just like the rest of them. Fair play.
And this is a question for Port Bear. Not having a go at Alan McGregor, but see if you're going to play like that constantly, is John McLaughlin more suited because he is more comfortable with the ball at his feet?
No
he has a good ball at his feet, aye.
Yeah, no doubt, mate. I think it only works. Only my opinion, it only works with John McLaughlin, mate. I don't think Alan McGregor, he's never been great with distribution, is he? That's never been a strong point, Alan's. Although he's a top class European level keeper. John McLaughlin, for me, in that system we play, mate, maybe has to play more games, because if we're going to knock it about and be as deep as that, and McLaughlin's becoming almost like a sweeper keeper, if you like, because he's getting the ball at his feet quite a lot. I think he's the guy, the only keeper we've got that can do that. I've not seen enough McCrory, mate, to have an opinion on his distribution. I don't know what his is like.
That's fair, mate. That's fair, man. I get that. Hugh?
Yeah, I think John McLaughlin done well, and as I said, like with the Lundstrom and Davis thing, when Davis kind of fades away, Lundstrom will step in, just like McGregor when he fades away. Hopefully, John McLaughlin can step in.
Good point, mate. Good point, Robert.
I think if you go back and maybe look at the games where McGregor has played this season, and we look very close to how we do play along the back, you probably find that we maybe miss him out a lot and go side to side or across the 6-yard or 18-yard box more. Whereas with McLaughlin, the players seem to have a bit of trust in him to go back there. So again, I get your point. I think maybe not the goalkeeper to do it with, but if you notice a weakness of him, don't give it back to him. Try and find that pass inside or up the line rather than trying to force it on him and make him panic or make the opposition get towards him quicker. Going forward, we have to think about it. McGregor's coming to a time of an end at some point, and it may be the end of this season. We never know until the end of the season. But going forward, if McLaughlin's your number one next year and was a contract in the summer, but if you offer him a contract and he's your number one, you've got a tried and trusted keeper there who's, for me, since he's come in, he's not put a foot wrong in any of the games he's played in.
Mm-hmm. His record's pretty good. I'll actually check it out in a minute. But if I play him, I mean, the fact that he's pushing Alan McGregor speaks volumes of him up there. But I believe his contract's up this summer, so they might have to move fast.
I think obviously, I think it's been McGregor's last season, mate. I think McCrory's making a lot of noise as well, and he's very highly thought of at Ibrox. And John McLaughlin will be a natural successor, in my opinion, to McGregor. I don't think, like Robert said there, mate, and you've said it as well, I don't think McLaughlin's put a foot wrong in any game he's played, and he's probably found himself unfairly dropped at times when McGregor's come back in, because I remember there was a spell where he had a couple of games in a trot where he played, and then as soon as McGregor was fit, more or less, he came straight back in. And I sort of felt sorry for McLaughlin because I felt he'd showed good distribution, he'd made some cracking saves, good shot stopping as well. But I think obviously McCrory is going to be breathing down his neck sooner than later, because there's a lot of noise coming from Ibrox that the boy McCrory's a top-notch keeper.
We'll see it. It's a good position. It's a good place we're in. Andy, isn't it? The competition and that.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. The goalkeeper coaches and Gio obviously know that Robbie McCrory has definitely got the quality. There's no doubt about that. And it will be exciting next season to see who gets the number one jersey. I think probably McLaughlin will get it. And going back to what you were saying earlier about trying to get the ball out the box, we both the keeper quicker at the feet. McLaughlin is definitely quicker than McGregor. But yeah, for next year, it's McLaughlin for me in front of young
McCrory.
McCrory, aye. Thanks, guys.
22 games.
But there's no doubts about it. I think McCrory played the Old Firm and 3 other games. I don't think he conceded the goal, did he?
No, he didn't. No.
McCrory? No.
John McLaughlin's played 22 games for us, Bob, here, and he's been in a losing side once. Pretty remarkable, isn't it?
Always a good, steady goalkeeper, the man. I mean, he's an international. He always gets picked for the national team, doesn't he? Doesn't always play, obviously. But always a good, steady goalkeeper. Every confidence in the man. There you go. His record speaks for itself. Huh? All these games he's played, and you know, what was it? 22 games, you say, Rocks, and 1 defeat. I think the 1 defeat was in Europe, I think.
No, I didn't. If you called in D Europe, aye.
Aye. So yeah, aye. Pure on the map, every confidence in him. And I mean, looking at him on the night, he was excellent with the ball at his feet. He did everything that was asked him. Dealt with pass backs, caught crosses, what have you. So I'd be quite happy with John McLaughlin to go between the sticks next year if McGregor calls it a day. I mean, what can we say about McGregor? He's done it all. He's been great for us, hasn't he? He's a brilliant shot stopper. But you say the way the game changes now for teams are passing, most teams in Europe now are passing the ball to the back, and we've got to be the same. And as I said, looking at the night, we're good at it. Gio must be working on it, obviously. So onwards and upwards, Bears. Well done. We've got a good weekend coming in front. A wee one on Sunday and a good draw, a good easy draw on Monday, and we'll be fine.
Interesting start that port, isn't it?
Aye. That's what I said earlier on, mate. He's probably unfairly dropped at times, in my opinion, because he's obviously, you've already started out now. He's been remarkable. One defeat in 22 games. That's not a form of a keeper that should be getting dropped, mate. In my opinion.
Aye. But you can't. Alan McGregor's stats are frightening as well.
Oh no, mate. I know.
Well, I'm going to say a good night, mate, if that's okay.
Well, no, it's not okay. Aye, cheers, Andy. Speak to you soon, mate.
Thanks very much, guys. Good night.
Cheers, Andy.
Cheers,
Good night, everyone.
Cheers, Andy.
All the best, guys.
Didn't want to do back shift, Ox, Jerry. Didn't want to do back shift.
He's away to the Sky programme, isn't
he? His documentary.
Aye, he's commenting how well England's doing at cricket. Right.
I just come in there, Ox?
Yes, mate, of course you can.
Yeah, it's just on the Alan McGregor and John McLaughlin thing. It might seem a lifetime ago, but do you remember McGregor and Neil Alexander?
Neil Alexander.
That was a friendly competition, just back and forth with they two.
Oh, if you think about it, if McGregor doesn't hurt his ankle at Parkhead, maybe Manchester doesn't happen.
Yep, exactly.
Aye.
And you've got one good keeper pushing another good keeper to other things, you know.
I think he was a genuine number 2 behind McGregor there. I think it was the injury that gave Neil his chance, from memory. But look, we've been blessed with Alan McGregor, and John McLaughlin's never let us down. And young Robbie McCrory, if he kicks on and becomes equal or better than they two, wow, what a goalkeeper we'll have for hands. Robert?
I was actually surprised that McCrory was still here and wasn't sent out on loan in the summer for some more game time. So I can see why he stayed, to get a wee bit of training and the expertise from Alan and John. But I think come January, if Gio's thinking that he's maybe going to push for the number 1 or number 2 jersey next season, he might just be feeling it that he maybe send him out on loan, get him a 6-month loan, couple of games in a Premier League level in Scotland again. Done obviously well at Livingston last season. So maybe be interesting to see if they send him out to get some game time under his belt to come back pre-season and really push for that jersey. Because in the 3 games that we did play, it again never put a foot wrong. The Old Firm game, he made big saves at big moments and cleared the ball at big moments as well, which sets the tone of how you perform, especially in an Old Firm game. Your nerves are rattling, and if you're performing well there, then you can perform in any level, especially for Rangers. You wear the badge, he's come through at a young age and deserves a chance if he's good enough. And like Gio said, you're good enough, you're old enough, you're young enough.
I think that is a position usually you come in a bit later into the team, innit, Bob Jarrett? It's not a position that young guys get thrown in goalkeeping, innit?
Well, fortunately, a club like Rangers as well can, but we've always been blessed with great goalkeepers. But as you're saying, it seems to be, maturity. Is that the word, Docs? Maturity. When you look at guys like Dino Zoff and stuff, and maturity. I mean, a lot of goalkeepers are playing well into their 30s. Well into their 30s. Some of them are well into their 40s. And, a different position, obviously, for outfield. But when you're talking about the Rangers goalkeeper, we've been blessed with a lot of great goalkeepers that have been through the years. I'm not going to rattle them all off, you know them all, but we've been fortunate that way. Definitely. And I think we're going to be fortunate again, as you say, with McLaughlin and young McCrory. So, that's sort of the good, eh?
It looks that way. Port?
Aye, keepers are bonkers, mate. Let's be totally honest. Goalkeepers are absolutely bonkers. And they don't usually, as Bob Gill says, mature to probably their late 20s, early 30s. That's when they seem to go on, they get better and better and better. You look at Buffon, still playing these. He was 42 when he played his last game for PSG. And then he gets back to Italy to play. So they can play well into their 40s now, especially the way they look after themselves. Even some outfield players like Ronaldo and that are there's guys playing into their 40s and that now, mate. So I think Rangers have been very, very blessed, as you said, mate, in the goalkeeper position. And I think that'll continue. That'll continue, in my opinion. And it's not to say Alan McGregor's not going to stay at Rangers. Who's to say he won't become part of the coaching team? And as I said, what a guy to learn off between him and McLaughlin, to learn from McCrory. McCrory's in a very good place. I don't know if he'd be better just staying. I know Robert touched on maybe going out on loan to get games, but sometimes it's better just to stay where you are and learn from the best, basically.
I think I can see the logic of going out in January. January. Just to touch on the finance again. Over €7 million so far in prize money at the moment. Let me get it exact. 7.284 million euros into the coffers. Robert, it's all got to be positive.
Yeah. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. You're in Europe. You deserve to be there. You're there for a reason. You're not there just to make up the numbers. We put on a show every game, and the finances that come with it. We all know that every team is struggling of late due to the pandemic, the COVID and whatnot. So any money right now is a help. But for us, the way we have performed in Europe, the money's ours. We deserve it, and let's go on another European journey this season. See how we got on, and let's hopefully get into the Champions League group season next season where the big bucks are, and take it on from there.
I'm just hoping it's a traditional European night. Second leg at Ibrox, full house. We're still well in the tie, and the place is electric, and the fans can drive us on it. Again, that potentially we might not be favourites to. You?
Yeah, I love European nights, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? Getting there, making a mark on the continent, and getting the money. I would, if you've got enough time, can you go in and get everybody's preference who like in the draw?
All right, I thought you were asking for preferences. That'd be a whole different show altogether. But I'll read them out. Right, okay. Barcelona, Dortmund, Leipzig, Porto, Sevilla, Sheriff, Zenit, and Atalanta are the teams. And we'll do this. We'll start with the oldest and work our way through the panel. So, Port Bell, you're first.
Very good. Barcelona, mate, I'd take them.
Right, okay.
Not for any reason that I think,
And who wouldn't you want?
Do you know, mate, I'm going to surprise a few people. It's because I've watched them play a couple of times. I watched them beating Real Madrid. That Sheriff mob that everybody seems to want. I don't want them, mate. I really don't. I watched them beat Real Madrid, and there's a good few. They drew Zenit St. Petersburg as well. They're a good result against Shakhtar. So they're a good side, mate.
I think I would just shoot them. Right, okay. Okay, Bob, yeah?
Hey, doesn't matter who we got. It's going to be a heavyweight, but I would love to see Barcelona coming to Ibrox. And that's still because they're a wee bit depleted at the moment with their troubles and their internal troubles with money and what have you. They're still Barcelona, and I would love to see it. Just think about the hell that your club's been through. We're not going to go over it. That's all been well documented. About where we've been up here at Alloa and down here and down uphill and Dundale, and suddenly we're in Europe playing against Barcelona. I would love that. I would love to see it.
Anybody you would like to avoid?
Them all. Hey, I'd like to avoid the likes of German clubs. German clubs are always strong, disciplined, and organised. And the sort of unspectacular to a level. They're very, very efficient. We know that. Barcelona would be a brilliant draw. Would be great.
There's a top team in Germany at the moment. But,
aye.
Robert, what about yourself?
Again, I'd probably say Barcelona would be an amazing away game for the fans, and then to have them at Ibrox as well would be a great atmosphere and a great night. Somebody to avoid, I've probably seen a bit Dortmund, and I'm going to find Atalanta in there as well. I know maybe they've not performed as good as they have this season, but last season they done pretty well in the Champions League, surprised a few folks, so they're a strong side. But to be honest,
excellent side,
let's get anybody, because we're there because we deserve to be, as are they. So let's test ourselves, let's get the best we can get, let's get Ibrox full and rocking, and let's see what happens.
Mm-hmm. You?
I would like to get Barcelona, because it's like the glamour tie. Plus, I think it's probably the best time to play them for a long, long time. As in, they're not playing as well as the namesake should be.
Mm-hmm. All right, okay. And who would you like to avoid?
I think probably like a strong German team like Dortmund, Leipzig, stuff like that.
Okay.
They're always strong at the back.
There's a lot of teams standing out. Obviously, Barca would be the glamour tie, maybe along with Dortmund. But would it be good if we could turn Zenit St. Petersburg again? Would that tickle your imagination? I would go against you, Port Bern, and I would take Sheriff.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, where they're from, Moldovan champions, you think we would stand a chance against them, mate, but what I've saw them...
Great results, mate. A couple of great results.
Aye. But I understand why everybody thinks that's the easier tie, but I just don't think you get easy teams, mate. The one thing that really jacks me off about the European tournament now, see these teams that keep dropping into... I don't even like the fact that we're not getting straight into the last 32, mate. I think that the top two should go straight through. That drop down...
If you're in what's the name of this? The seventh tier competition now, what's it called?
The conference one.
Europa Conference.
Well, see in that, if you're the best diver, the best cheat, you go into some other competition, yeah.
Aye, exactly, mate. Aye. But you get what I mean. You get knocked out of a tournament, you drop in another one. You get knocked out of another tournament, you drop in another one. What is that all about? If you're out, you're out.
Farcical.
Yeah, terrible.
And see the Champions League, I'm on my high horse. See the Champions League as well, that's another farcical thing as well. It's not the Champions League, because I think every champion in the league should go straight in to the group stages. See these times where Rangers have had to qualify to get to the 3 qualifiers to get in the Champions League. That's ridiculous as well. Stop calling it Champions League, because that's not what it's called. You've got teams that finish second, third and fourth on it as well. Just I'm on my high horse.
You're right, Lawson. You're right.
Well, don't encourage him, anyway.
Oh, he's right.
The one and only Andy Felix. Evening, Andrew.
Good evening, chaps. Hope everybody's okay.
All right, mate. You get second verse. That was a steady. I'm just laughing about chins earlier. You know. I got a call from James. from Tennessee last night. He told me get nothing to worry about. I could honestly say, for the first time in my life, I was dumbfounded and quiet. I've been trying to play with him. In the feed, and he's not playing, and he's not even putting emojis now. He's getting annoyed with me. But
I think him and James in Tennessee will be doing a Christmas album, you know.
Well, James will not have to play the piano in the duet, will he?
No, but what I'm actually looking forward to is when they do the calendar.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I said to him last night after the show, I says, what the hell did you go and do that? I said, you're in serious trouble now, pal.
Nobody's mentioned it to me all day, Andy.
I was straight in the Rangers WhatsApp feed. After it, I'll tell you. Oh, dearie me. But no, in the game, I thought first half played all right. We'll let them come on to us a wee bit in the second half there, straight on that defending up, clear headers out of the box. Can't seem to sort that out at the moment. I thought we'd done all right in the last 3 or 4, but the old failings are still there, aren't they? The cross. I noticed that Davis actually sat back on the post there and cleared it off the line what he was doing before he was out of the team and that. So maybe Gio's looked at that. But I thought Bassey had a good game as well. I thought Patterson was steady, but obviously, you know, the one at the end there kind of blots it a bit for him right enough. But he's young and he'll come strong, like, I'm pretty sure. There'll be a game time he gets and all that, he'll win. He's only a young boy at the minute, so I think we're okay. Ken did all right in his patches. That's steady. Like, it's a good performance. I mean, I know we were all saying it's a dead rubber game and all that, but, you know, they could have gone out there and got a doing, and I think they stood up there well with 2 or 3 words.
Does it not show how
players out?
Does it not show how came? You know, we've got fringe players, if you like, with different players getting into our team, and we're competing with a team like Lyon in their own place. All right, we know it's a dead rubber. You can call it if you like. We've also qualified for the next stages, you know.
Yeah, I thought they did well. I'm quite happy with that. It all gives confidence. You know, that's 5 games under him now. Sets us up for a big game like on Sunday, like, so. You can't keep playing at that right enough. You know, I mean, it's all right saying that. You know, when it was at 1 each and it got deep into that game, they were bringing all their stars on. They wanted to win that game, and Rangers had up well there. So I'm quite happy with that. You know, they could have done better in spells right enough, but you know, the quality of the team were playing in that, like, you know. Kent should have got a wee bit more on that defender, that young boy. I think he could have had him, you know. But, you know, and I'm liking the shooting as well. He wasn't doing that at all for a long time. Now, you know what happens? All right, want a direct goal, but you shoot, anything can happen, as we said in the past, isn't it?
Oh, it was getting in like a rocket, wasn't it?
It wasn't a great shot, was it? Let's be honest with you, right? Like you said, George Albert,
Oh, Scott, right, I'd have been embarrassed if that went in.
He looked very happy after it went in anyway, put it that. But it was good. It was a good performance, that, in patches, you know. I mean, I think he stood up well there, you know. They could have quite easily, you know, not put the effort in and all that. But no, you know what I liked about Gio? No, he was up there with his guys there. And if he seen something going wrong, he was running down the stair and telling them, so that was good, you know. That's good as well.
First impressions of the manager for you, Andy? First impressions, there's only 5 games, we know that.
I think he's going to be good. I think, you know, win, draw or loss, I don't think you'll see any change in him. I think he plays his cards very closely to his chest. I think he knows what he wants, and I think privately inside there they were going and telling him, you know, exactly, you know, what he thinks of him, if they're not putting the shift in. So, yeah, up to press, 5 games, like you say, early dodge, right enough, but we'll see in the next 2 or 3 league games, don't we? Hearts, Aberdeen, and you know, whoever come across, like, we can come through them. And yeah, we're setting ourselves up for the big one.
We'll be on about all this December and all these fixtures, and we've got all these games to play. We've chopped 5.5 put better, and we'll now get, what have we got, 6 before the break now? That's the next 6, you know.
That's the thing, mate. We've got to go on another run, another 5. Just keep, you know, chopping them off, game at a time. I think that's the way Gio will do it. In regards to his system as well, Oxtear, I don't think you're going to truly see Giovanni's full system. You know, all systems go under his style until next pre-season, mate, when he starts bringing in some of his own players and he gets a full pre-season with them. Because right now, obviously, we're playing Thursday, Sunday. That's what he's had since he's come into the club. So he's not getting a lot of training time on the pitch, in my opinion. So I think he's doing really well, mate, for probably the lack of time he wanted on the pitch. It's just been games. So that's harder to get the message across when you're training, because he's not getting time on the pitch. So I think he's doing well, mate.
Yeah, you happy? And first impression, ticking the box, yeah?
Oh, over the moon, mate. Over the moon. Really over the moon.
All right, Robert?
I think what it is for him is he gets it. He gets what Rangers are. He gets what Rangers are about.
So if somebody's got their phone beating in the background, can they turn it off? Carry on, Robert.
Sorry, mate. He gets it. He gets it. For me, he just understands Rangers. He understands the passion the fans have for the club. He understands what the European nights and competitions mean to us. And it's something that Stevie G, I don't think, fully understood how much that is expected at Rangers, whereas Gio knows. He's been as a player, all right, years ago now, but he still knows the passion is driven by how you perform and how your team performs. And that's one thing you keep hearing him say: my team, my players, my style. And 5 games in, looking good. Like I said earlier on, it can only get better, it can only get stronger. And as Port Bear said, give them the pre-season and you might actually see it in full flow. But big games coming up, big tests, and I think we'll really see how the players have reacted as well in these coming weeks before they kind of fix their pile-ups and no rest, essentially.
Mm-hmm. All right, okay. Where are we? Hugh.
Yeah, he's a breath of fresh air after the last manager. I won't say his name. But then he's obviously going to want to make his own mark because he's inherited all these players. He wants to bring in his own, and we'll soon see January what happens. But we've got a busy winter schedule coming up. Just hope Old School Blues got his eggnog ready. The games are coming in thick and fast.
I'm sure he will. He's teetotal this time of the year.
It's good to see more than eggnog.
Bob, first impressions?
What, the manager?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm all for him. As you say, he was here as a player 20 years ago and he knows all about the club. He was under Dick Abicat. He's seen what it was like in the Knights of Paston and Champions League and that. And, he knows exactly what the club's all about, what the support's all about, what Rangers mean to us all. So he's back here as manager and he's doing well and it's all really good. And it'll get better. As you say, 5 games in, 4 wins and a draw in a very, very one of the most difficult venues in Europe. Good on the man. And you notice tonight that the Stampede put him, as I said, playing short balls inside the box. It improved greatly for what it's been. So, did you say what it'll be like, as the lads are saying, what it'll be like 20, 25 games in? It can only get better. I've got confidence in the future, just like the rest of it. So, in Gio we trust.
Is that the youngest back four? With Patterson and Bassian, it must be up there, Port Bear.
Aye, definitely, mate. Aye, you think, Golds is probably your most experienced, and he's only 28.
David Lee was older than the two of them put together, I think.
Aye, young inexperienced back four, mate. So, that's another good point you put across there. And we've went away, as Bob Gill said, we went to one of the top, in my opinion, a Champions League team in Lyon. And, we've done really well. I've said before, mate, and I'm going to say it again, I think we've punched above our weight a lot of times in Europe over the last 3 seasons. But it's detriment to the way we've played as a team as a whole, mate. And I think that's why I'm saying earlier on about, that's why we need 11 players on it to get these good results against these bigger teams like your Lyons and your Portos that we've played, etc., etc. So I think we've punched above our weight, made a lot of European tournaments in the last couple of seasons, and we're doing the same again at this season, in my opinion. Because in my opinion, we're still building under a new manager. So, and we're going to get a result like that in his second European game against Lyon. I think I'm over the moon with manager, mate. I think the players have reacted, which is important as well, to different coaching.
I've nothing to put my finger on this, and I'll go to the most experienced guy on the panel, Bob Chair, right? The players just, for some bizarre reason, just look happier. I don't know if I'm reading too much into it, but it's just the impression I get.
Totally agree.
Bob Chair?
Well, I've noticed that as well. I looked at the video of the training yesterday, and everybody had a huge smile on their face, and everybody seemed to be genuinely happier. I mean, if you noticed under Gerrard and Beale and stuff, okay, the guys are training, they've got to do their job, but to me, everybody seems sort of I wouldn't say flat, but, no sort of over enthusiastic. Everybody's, the mood is definitely genuine. It's definitely changed, Definitely. So it's probably reflected in the performances. Well, that can only be good for us all, as supporters, and the club in general. So is everybody getting that impression, yeah?
Yeah. All right. Robert?
I just recommend mate, to say that I was up at Ibrox the day of the Rangers-Spartak game, just before kick-off. I was before it at the shop with my missus and my wee boy. And the players were arriving, so I took my wee boy up just to see them. And I turned around and actually said to my missus, there's a different look on their faces. There's a smile. The atmosphere between them and the fans was a lot different. They looked more relaxed. They were happy to get pictures and autographs and whatever. Obviously a safe distance if anybody's listening from the government side. But there was just something in the air that was different from what had been, especially what had happened the weekend before. It was just a buzz between them, laughing, joking, and just that aura, just something different. But it certainly does seem to have changed.
Hugh?
Yeah, the future's bright, the future's orange. Yeah,
awful funny how a Dutch manager comes in next year.
What was that, mate?
Awful funny how a Dutch manager comes in and everybody's chilled on it.
Aye, well, there's a lot of things I could say to that, but I'm not if I do, I might get invited to party number 10. Right, okay, aye, but what positive. I think the manager's done very well with the previous regime. I think we've upped the level of the coaching staff. Only time will tell about the manager, but so far so good.
Aye, mate, definitely. I think it was Bob J. or Robert touched on it earlier on in regards to where Gaffer got up to the stand to speak to his coaching team. I seen him up talking to the boy Voss 2 or 3 times on watching it on the television, mate, and that boy seems to be having an instant input as well. So it's important to mention him, innit? I know he's assistant manager. That's the first time I've seen him in the stand with him. So, but certainly he was up with the wee earpiece in, and he was talking to the analyst, who's obviously passing stuff to him. And I think this is the modern football now, mate. You've got your football analysts, assistant manager, your coaching staff, and obviously the gaffer, who's the forefront of the team. But it looked like Voss was very vocal, mate, in discussing with an analyst where tweaks need to be made in the team, and they obviously sit further up in the stand so they can monitor the game from a distance, which is sometimes a lot better when you're too close to the pitch. You can't see as much. So I like this modern coaching style, mate, and I can't wait to see it develop further.
That'd be interesting what he can do if he can kick his own, and improve the team, change the personnel maybe slightly, and take us another bit up the ladder. Bob J.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, don't ever forget, this is still Gerard's squad, boys.
Yep.
It's still Gerard's squad, and if he's getting a better performance with them, well, good. And he's still got to put his own stamp on the team. Yeah, be bringing in his own people, bringing in his own players. Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens in January. It'll be very, very interesting. But if we can up the performance, up the morale of the squad, and obviously up the results, well, we'll all be happy. Yeah? I'm really, really happy the way things have turned out. I firmly believe, and it's still a dig at Steven Gerrard because I'm like the rest of us, I loved him. But to me, we've got a better coach. I don't know about the staff behind him, but we've got a better manager now than what Steven Gerrard was. And that's only my opinion. Results will bear me out in the long term, but I think in the long term we're going to be fine. We're going to be all right.
A good point, Bob. Yeah, good point. Robert?
I like Bob just said there, it's still Gerrard's squad. So if Gio can get this out of them just now, then give him the January transfer window, the summer transfer window to make it his squad and see what we can bring.
I forgot. I hear you. I forgot about Andy for Leeds. Andy, you can take any of the points you want. I missed you. Sorry, mate. Sorry, mate.
That's been the story of my life, Hops.
No,
no, listen, I think
do that often, mate, but I apologise.
I will. That's all right. I'm no bothered. No, listen, all the guys have been great points, and I think what is evident there is who the guys he's brought in, and himself, a player and a manager. There's a vast array of knowledge there, isn't there, in all different departments. And as Bob J says there, once he imparts that one and brings a couple of his own players, which is, inevitable, every manager does that. He'll have a player that he's got in mind, or one or two. I think he'll bring in a new striker. All managers seem to have their own striker, so I'm interested to see where that's going to go long term. But I think what wasn't Gerrard getting out of him at the back at the start of the season, where he's just gone in 5 games. I think he's one of them guys would take the guys on individually and have a word with him, asking them what's wrong, what they think's wrong, blah, blah, blah. And they're coming out, and as it stands at the moment, they look like they're wanting to play. I mean, the Hibs game was a bad generator. I'm just taking it from Dundee and tonight. They've definitely gone up a bit from the couple of games previous to that. But, we'll all be all right. I'm pretty sure of that, because he will bring in his own players. Inevitably, some of these players will go as well. So it's who he replaces him with, and I'm pretty sure that he'll have massive contacts around the football globe right enough, because he's been around and he's done well wherever. He seems well thought of. That was kind of fascinating, wasn't it? The Lyon manager there tonight. I didn't realise that he knew him or was anywhere around him. So, he's got knowledge, and I think we'll be okay. If the team wants to start improving or that, we put some game time into some of the players I know. So, it's up to them now. They want to go and challenge the guys that have got the shirts now. But, yeah, big game Sunday, in it. That's the one that I've been thinking about all week, to be honest, where anyone is not to perform there tonight or whatever, but my hearts have been on my mind since they finished the game against Dundee, I
understand that. I mean, I wasn't feeling it the day about the game. I said that to Port Bear earlier, and I said I wasn't feeling it. Usually you get excitement and buzzer. I never felt as if it was a dead rubber, but I just felt, changes-based teams have been played at walking place. And some I was proved to be correct, but it was still a decent performance against a team who, particularly in the second half, try to go on and win the game. So we got a draw, we move on. We know we can improve. We know we're improving. We've got a guy in to tweak us, take us one or two rungs up the steps to get to maybe the next step. And if we do that, we become a good side. Robert, and then you.
I totally agree, mate. Totally agree. We can only go up from here, and we'll see who he brings in and how we develop as a squad. And like Andy said there, inevitably wins will leave, but it's who comes in. Now, obviously, some players may have came to us recently because of who was in charge, the namesake of Gerrard, but that should not come into consideration. When a team like Rangers comes in for you, there should be no thinking about it. If it's for you, you come. If it's not for you, then you've missed the chance of playing at one of the world's greatest clubs and the most famous club in the world. So let's see who he brings in. If he's bringing in some players from Dutch football, great. It'd be good to see a bit of Dutch style in the Scottish football and bring it in and see how it pans out. But like you say, you can only go up, and right now we're top of the league, so we can't go any further, but we can certainly go further in Europe.
Well said, mate. Listen, the last few minutes of the show, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
You?
Yeah, I think it was regarding the result, I think it's a great result with let's say a weakened team that we played. We played ourselves with a lot of players out. I think it might have been different if we had an actual out and out number 9. I think regarding the whole team and background staff, I think Gary McAllister was a great player, and then coach. Roy Mackay, great player, then coach. Straight swap. I think Mike Beale was good with the youth and the brains. I think Dave Voss, he's now the brains, as you see. He's seen Bronckhorst in his ear a few times tonight, and he's also good at the Ajax youth. And then Gerrard, fantastic player, now taking the manager's side. And then you got Van Bronckhorst, fantastic player, now the manager at Rangers. But the thing is with Van Bronckhorst, he's been proven at Feyenoord. He's won things before he came to Rangers, and he's an ex-Rangers player, so he knows what it means.
Aye, understand that, mate. Understand. Maybe more a connection with the club because he's an ex-player. Not necessarily, but as a factor. Aye, so we're all pleased. We're all generally pleased at how the manager's gone. 2 players I want to mention. One's Kemar Roof, I think, but I don't think he's a lone striker. Another one is Calvin Bassey. How well he's played in Giovanni's first 5 games. Port Bear.
been excellent, mate. Bassey, Borna, even to an extent as well, is really, in my opinion, another step in the ladder since Gio's come in. And I suppose if you can't line up a guy that's got over 100 caps for his country in some of the clubs he's played at in midfield and at fullback, if Bassey and Borna and guys like Patterson, Tav, defenders, etc., and even the midfielders on the learning after this guy, mate, then maybe they should have beat the club. But I've seen an improvement in all these guys, mate, under Gio, so he's doing something right. Definitely, mate, 100%.
Who was the four players you named there? Sorry, mate.
Borna, Bassey, Patterson and Tav.
It sounds like a song, mate.
Playing in Royal Blue.
Email songs.
Oh, dear. Andy Phillips, he's easy, isn't he?
Aye.
Oh, I tell you, I couldn't believe that. I've sat there and gone, no, he's no. I have.
No, even that, mate. We got me date twice.
Oh, yeah. I know. I tell him to come on tonight to give you the second part of the tune, but he wasn't having it. I think I annoyed him. Oh dear.
Maybe we'll do a Rangers Radio rap next year. Get him to do a rap.
See, back in the days when it was just radio, he'd have been a big star. Television's finished his career, Alex Kelly. Right. Andy, same question to you. Bassey, Roof. I don't think Roof's an out-and-out lone striker. I don't think.
I said to our Suggs there earlier on, I wasn't hammered with Roof at all. I don't think he was in the game at all. But he's good around the box and all that, so he's got to get fit and all that. Every time he seems to go away on the international duty, he seems to come back with an injury, doesn't he? A bit sickened about Jack. Like I think what I said there earlier on. I think at the start of the season there, I think in the next press conference he could be giving its time up. Like hope I'm wrong, like, but. We're just going to have to move on if that's the case. Right? I really feel sorry for the boy, like,
Yeah.
Because you don't know how it happened to you. Is it happened at the Dundee game, or was it happened in training? Or?
Well, he travelled to Lyon, mate. So as far as we know, he was lined up to get some minutes tonight.
I think Gio said before the game it happened in training. They got a bit of a knock and just gave him a kind of setback, but it was going to be part of the squad tonight to get minutes. That was Gio's plan. He said it just before kick-off.
No, it's a great shame, that, right enough. But I mean, if it's to be, that's what it is, and we're just going to have to go forward and find another guy for that position, right enough, But really, that's really softened me like that, right enough. But we'll go. We'll see what happens. Maybe not as bad as what we think,
No, you might be right. Then, mate. Hopefully, fingers crossed for Ryan Jack.
Yeah.
Bob, Bassey and Ruth, thoughts?
Bassey and Roof.
Aye.
I think Roof might be one of the ones that will get moved on, actually. I do. Bassey, excellent. Keep a hold on him. If him and Patterson are the future of Rangers, I'm happy with that. Bassey's an excellent player. He's proved it, the laddie who came in. And he's not even playing his own position. I mean, he's a natural left back, isn't he? But he's been very flexible coming in there. But Bassey had a really good game tonight. It's just a shame about the own goal, but that happens. That's life. But I think they've got a right goods in there, and Calvin Bassey. Try and keep a hold of him. Really good player, laddie.
I think he could work on his leap and attacking the ball. I think he could build on that.
Well, but I mean, as I say, he's only a young player. What age is he? 21.
I think so, mate. I think so.
There's much more to come for Calvin Bassey, and he is a good player. He's no on loan or anything. He is a good player, so he's another big asset. Aye, definitely. He's as big an asset as a Rebo and company is going to be. So
I don't know he's quite at that level yet. I think Joe.
Well, has any you heard anything about Arsenal with Rebo? No. That seems to be doing around. Is that you hear that every day, right?
Every day, mate. Every day.
Hey, let's be honest though, we wouldn't be surprised if he was, would we? He's been the main man this season, in my opinion.
They remortgaged their stadium, mate,
Exactly.
Same question, Bassey, Roof for Robert.
I agree with you, mate. I think Roof needs a strike player. He's not a kind of one. If he is playing with gets that kind of movement, that he's the best finisher at the club. I don't think there's no denying that. He's the best finisher. But on his own, to probably not his strongest point. Needs a bit of support. In terms of Bassey, he's been absolutely outstanding at that centre back since he's had to fill it. Not put a foot wrong. Like Bob just said, unfortunate from the goal tonight. He stuck a leg out trying to block it, and it can go anywhere. That's just your Donald Duck. But a question for the rest of yourselves, if there's time. Once Balogun's back fit and he's available for selection, does he come straight back in, or does he have to now sit on the bench and take his chance when Bassey drops form, or what happens? Does he walk straight back in for you, or does he not?
If you look at the last 5 games since Gio's come in, it's a no for me. Andy?
No.
Port Bear?
On form right now, no. But I wouldn't be surprised if he came back in.
Mm-hmm. So you've answered twice to the same question.
Aye, I'm sitting on the fence with
You'll get invited to that party at number 10, you will. Bob J?
I will develop a dilemma in both fullback positions. Well, you've got you've got the situation with Taverner and Patterson. I think the same situation is going to develop with Bassey and Barisic. But it's not a bad thing though.
What about Balogun? Does he come in?
Balogun? No, I'm not sure. I don't know. It's hard to say. The laddie's done that well, yeah. And if he's playing well, why not keep him there?
Mm-hmm. All right, fair enough. Hugh?
It's Bassey's jersey to lose, so no.
Aye, it's remarkable, Robert. When Bassey was thrown into centre back and we saw him in Prague, I'm thinking, I don't know, mate. I thought he was poor. Him and Golson, there was one goal against Livingston and an own goal. Yeah, Bassey's been involved in the two of them. Obviously, the own goal came off of him and the goal against Livingston. I think he could learn from that. It wasn't particularly his fault, but I'm just saying there's a learning bit in there. Apart from that, the boy's been excellent. Robert?
No, he has been excellent. In my opinion, I wouldn't drop him either for Balogun. If you're playing well, you deserve to stay in the squad. And like we're talking about with McLaughlin and McGregor, if you're a form player, you shouldn't be dropped. So I can see why you can be kept in, but I could also see why, if we're struggling a wee bit defensively at set pieces, you might want that natural centre back in your squad. But I would put Bassey in still. He's been excellent. He's also got a bit of a presence about him because he's an absolute tank. So although Balogun's a big centre half, Bassey is built and he's got a good bit of speed on him as well. So I think it's given Borna a bit of licence as well, because Bassey can also cover the left back position. He knows it well because he's natural position, obviously. So it maybe allows Borna to go that wee bit extra forward, knowing that Bassey's there to cover him.
All right. Well, gentlemen, after a decent result in Europe, we've reached that time of the evening. I hope you enjoyed it, Andy.
Oh, great! Always nice to be on the show, and thanks for thanks for the last 2 nights.
Oh dear!
Oh dear!
The totty for Lanzarote. Right, okay. Bob, Chair?
Oh, aye, definitely. Great show tonight. Brilliant. It's always a brilliant way to spend an evening, Rangers Radio. But last night was the best laugh I'd had since my Auntie Lizzie got her nipples and everything. It was so funny. So funny. It was brilliant. Oh, keep the songs coming, whatever you do. I've been laughing about it all day, actually. Really, really, really good part. Excellent. And harmless. Good harmless fun. Brilliant. So I had another good show tonight. Great stuff, boys.
Bob, yeah, always a pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure. Robert?
Good performance. A great show from yourself, Fox and Port. Always good to come on and listen to everybody else's views. Great night. Thanks for having us, and let's play on Sunday.
Yeah, anytime, mate, anytime. You, always pleasure, mate.
Thanks very much. Good good for the Rangers boys to keep on marching into Europe in the next season and this next year. And shout out to all the Rangers fans that travelled after that terrible debacle about the green light, red light, green light.
Yeah. Obviously. Last word to the evening, Port Bear.
Aye, thanks very much to yourself for having us. Thanks to all the callers, everybody on Facebook, YouTube, all the loyal fans out there, the listeners out there. Great result. Good result on Sunday to come, mate. The big draw on Monday. Give us Barcelona.
Yeah, I think Andy for Crookston coming on. Of course, Bob's here. Andy for Leeds, Hugh and Robert. Of course, Portman. Can also thank Alex Kelly for making 2 shows in a row. And of course, can I thank Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. Thanks for listening. Please stay safe. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers. With Rangers Radio will be joined by the one and only JFK. Take it away, Old School Blue.
I sailed the wild Atlantic, across the broad Pacific shore. I sailed around the stormy capes and I've heard the 40s roar. I've flied the Indian Ocean, I've sailed the China Sea. But there's a sea back home in Scotland, more than all the rest to me. It's the blue, blue sea of my rock. It's the greatest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue, blue sea of my rock. And it's not from the really just play a screen. No more I'll sail the 7 seas, no more